Just going to be on and the Facebook also hold on. Hold on. What's going on?
Ah, don't worry,
What's going on? Yes. Very deep high go. Not sure that. They won't come back. What's it? Although the people who saw the make up, you want to be cut to get the wedding to us. Anyway, so it's the what's your boss and yeah, anyway, so what is set up Facebook and what's it look at share.
Okay, I'm
I'm to share with you. One of the big Hawaii.
It's okay.
Hey, I knew when they check you was that.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, live now.
Are you ready? Where's the music playing? Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Crossfire time, and we welcome you all to Crossfire on Africanna Radio. First of all, let me apologize to all our cherished listeners and viewers. We are way behind time, and it's all my fault. It's all my fault, so I do apologize. It's all my fault. So forgive us, and forgive us again. Uh, Tonight, what date is it? Today is the 10th of,
Thank you. Yeah.
10th of May. We're almost halfway through the year, aren't we? And we are coming your way again with another edition of Crossfire. Last week we couldn't be in the studio to bring you our usual discussions. We were held up certain issues beyond our control. Yes, we are back. So we welcome you all, and we are happy to be back. My good friend Richard is already here. How are you, my friend?
Oh my. I'm good. As always, fortunate enough to be part of the divine selection. So I really can't complain. I'm good.
That's good. Yes, so
Good to be back.
like I said, as we usually do it, we are broadcasting live on Africana Radio from Bedford. You can get us on the TuneIn app. If you have TuneIn on your mobile or your any electronic device, you can listen to the show live from TuneIn. Also, you can download our app from the Google Play Store, the Africana Radio app, or the Apple Store. Facebook, we're transmitting live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Facebook, Africana Radio on Facebook, you get us there. Or you can go onto my Facebook wall, Mike Jones or Michael J. Asante. Also on Richard's wall, Richard Ajapon or Dominic Domfe. You also get us on any of these platforms. My friend, what do we have for our people tonight? Last week we were not here, so
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we have quite a lot to talk about. But
Yeah.
considering the fact that our programs are usually our discussion, we sort of discuss, topical issues, things that are happening at the moment.
Yeah.
We know there is a lot to talk about, but we will try and see if we can capture issues that we've missed. But obviously, there are others too that we just have to, you can't avoid it. You have to go onto it and talk about it. Things are happening. What is happening around the world? That's where I like to start from, my good friend.
I think the latest one is President Trump sacking Mr. Comey.
Yes. I like my friend, he doesn't waste time.
Yeah, talking of
It's quite interesting. You know, I like the drama, surrounding all this. It's interesting to watch, interesting to listen to all the arguments going in and, out the hearings in Senate, and then
I bet Hillary Clinton is sitting at her somewhere and then giggling and laughing.
giggling and laughing. Well, we never know. You don't know what's going to happen next. You really don't know what's going to happen next. I spoke to a friend and a while back. He's in the United States, and his argument was that the problem he has with Trump is with his unpredictability.
Yeah.
That's you can't read his mind. You don't know what he's going to do next, and he doesn't think that is something good for a leader of the most powerful nation of the world. That's America. You need to have some kind of. He should not necessarily predictable in terms of every issue, but you should know what he stands for. If it comes to an issue, where his policy is, what his views on a particular issue is. But you take Mr. Trump, and you don't know, today he's saying this, tomorrow, and you really don't know what he's going to do the next. And so many people find that very worrying and troubling. They think it doesn't present a stable picture for the nation, and it's something that, in his opinion,
Well, somebody also tell you that it's exactly what he wants because he's different. He's not the part of the so-called
that is the point.
establishment
That is the point.
where he could talk to the himself representatives of
That is the point.
powers that be.
Okay, that is the point. But yet, in everything that you do, there are certain established practices that you have to go through, and that is where the problem lies. So, people are used to one particular way of doing things or a certain way of doing things, and then all of a sudden, he thinks, I'm not going to do that. I do it my own way. I do it this way.
Change has come.
Change has
They're
come.
used to
So,
it.
perhaps people must get used to how he's doing it. Now, as to the merits and demerits, or whether it is right to sack his FBI boss director, well, he's not the first person who did that. Someone did it before him. There's in the history of America, it's happened before. I think Clinton sacked his boss, his FBI boss before, and there's also one other. Who was the Watergate scandal guy? The one
Richard Nixon.
Nixon also did the same thing. So there is a precedent, but it depends on where you look at it,
Yeah.
whether you agree with him or disagree with him. Most people the consensus at the moment seems to be that he shouldn't have sacked the guy because he was in the midst of investigating. But that is probably the more reason why I will sack him. If I'm the president and you are carrying out an investigation that will eventually bring my government down, Why should I sit down and allow you to go on?
Yeah, question. What was he even investigating?
This Russian connection. And incidentally, he's meeting the Russian foreign minister today. Actually, they've met, they've had discussion in the United States. So it's all bizarre, you know. Now, I can understand Trump's desire to, engage the Russians because the former approach or the previous style hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Okay, Bush was confrontational. Obama, the same thing. He thinks no. He said, if I can get on well with the guy, why not? I mean, he even went ahead and praised this young man in North Korea that he's a smart cookie. And his main reason for saying that was that if at the age of less than 30 years old, he's been able to, although he inherited a position, but there are people there who were powerful and who could have, prevented him from taking over, right? But he's still able to do that. Then it means he is someone smart. And so he admired that, side of him. And he's doing things that the establishment finds it quite difficult because I wouldn't be surprised that the next thing we hear is meeting this North Korean leader, calling him, telling him that, son, come here. You are just 30 years old. You are just like my grandson or my child. You are one of my kids. Sit down and let's talk. What's your problem? You can't put the world on edge. I mean, what's wrong with that? I know it's taking things too far, but if that is what is going to bring about peace and stability in the region, compared to being confrontational and then, hey, trying to create a third world war, Armageddon, whatever it is in the Korean Peninsula, why not?
Yeah, that's it.
So,
It funny work. Yes, like I said,
well, at this moment, we don't know what has worked. That is the question. Okay, what has worked? There's been sanctions upon sanctions upon sanctions upon sanctions. Have they prevented those sanctions stop the guy from developing his nuclear ambition? No. He keeps carrying on with the test. So if Mr. Trump can come up with a different way of dealing and addressing the problem, so be it. Sometimes we just don't have to be bogged down with this idea, that there is only one way to, achieve something. If there's another way, Mr. D usually says that, look, if you can sit down with your enemy and talk, why not? Yeah, you sit down with them and then talk and discuss that. But it's quite difficult for them. But that's Trump for you, my brother. That's Trump for you. He's always pulling surprises. So we are waiting to see who is going to nominate or to replace the FBI director. He's already sacked his acting attorney general, though he didn't appoint a woman. I saw that woman's appearance before a Senate sub-judicial committee, and trust me, the woman is tough. She is tough, my brother.
Do you think Ghana, for instance, our president should also be bold enough to, let's say, sack the Ghanaian equivalent of the US boss for the PNI? Because,
well, but he's no more there. He's not the one there in charge now.
oh, the BNI boss is there.
No, I think he's changed.
No, he's not. He's on Article 71. You remember one of those
BNI.
BNI boss is one of those that were appointed.
Who's the BNI boss?
Oh, his name is.
Akresi Sapon?
No. Akresi Sapon, you're talking of. No. He is one of those that were appointed along with Josephine something. You remember there were two BNI and the Shraj.
No, it was
it?
just the Shraj and then the.
Was it Shraj?
It was Shraj and then the Auditor General.
No.
That he appointed.
No, it was.
It wasn't the BNI. He didn't appoint BNI. He didn't appoint BNI.
Oh, was it Shraj and then Shraj and civil.
Yeah, the Shraj and then no, for the BNI, it's not. They are not Article 71 holders.
Oh yeah,
No,
you're right.
yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
So he's got his own people over there. He's got his own people. But with the American situation, they are not that their tenure. They do have a long tenure of office, so it straddles presidents from presidents. But it doesn't really matter if another. It's just a convention that when a new president comes in, they sort of leave because that position is supposed to be independent, or whoever is in charge of the BNI is supposed to carry themselves, behave in an independent fashion. So the presidents will usually leave them untouchable. That's what happens. I mean, but on this occasion, Mr. Trump thought he must go. That he's not. To some extent, I can understand. Look, the gentleman, the Democrats do not like him, and the Republicans now will not like him. So, what do you expect will happen? And if he's treading too close to comfort, why not? He has the power. That's the beauty of democracy, though. He is exercising his authority over here to do things that I think is all right. If you feel it's not right, the courts are there. He has the authority. He used his power to issue out executive orders. Some have been challenged and blocked. Others have gone through. So that is the system. Anyway, and we are getting closer to home now. And here, home, I mean the first home or the second home, which is the UK. Very soon, we'll be having another election on the 8th of June. The campaign has kicked off, and Mrs. Theresa May and my own friend, Mr. Corbyn, it's not going well.
Mr. Corbyn.
Well, that's what the media is trying to portray out there for us to believe. To the extent that even the MPs, the most Labour MPs, are finding it difficult to mention his name at the doorsteps in their campaign.
Diane Abbott goofed big time. I could not believe it.
Well, it's normal. She's human. What do you expect?
No. You're bringing out a big policy like that, and then you're the one in charge, and then you don't know your figures. You just so it tells somebody, that it wasn't a well thought of policy. It probably was well thought of, but then you created the
presentation might not have been what we expected, but I don't think I'll hit her so hard because some of these things she had done. She did. I understand she did about 4 interviews that particular day, so that was the 4th one. So
yeah,
perhaps
those previous interviews that she did, she never mentioned a costing in any of. Nobody asked. That's the thing. Nobody asked about the costing in those previous ones, but the last one that somebody asked about how much it was going to cost.
Mr. D is looking at me as if I have the cost of this, but hey. Look, let me tell you something. To be fair to her, she's the Shadow Home Secretary. She's not a what do you call it, Chancellor, the Shadow Chancellor. If it was the Chancellor who couldn't come out with this figure, then that's where I'll have a problem. But with her role, I don't think.
That's her field.
It's her field.
She should be equipped. She should be equipped with every single question that comes up. But for you to go sit down there and as if when she was going, she wasn't. It was like she wasn't on her mind, and she didn't know what she was going to talk about. And the question was put to you, and fumbling like that, didn't know. At least if you don't look, I think it would have been better if she had said, "Look, I'm sorry, I do not have any idea now, but we will bring you the figures at some point in time." I think people would have understood him. I understood it rather. But for you to go and giving up, figures which are inaccurate.
No, I think she got mixed up. She would have been having the papers there. She got mixed up somewhere. The figures she gave one figure, gave another figure.
She sounded as if she didn't know what she was talking about. That was as simple as that.
Mike, simple thing is, if you are going to come out with, it was a big a major policy that they wanted to introduce, and if you are going to introduce such a policy, I can bet you, it must have been well thought of, and figures would have been provided.
And it's election time.
Exactly. Someone is going to ask you how much it's going to cost. You can't just come out there and make a promise.
Already, Labour is
in Ghana. When a political party comes out with a promise, everyone asks for the promise.
Already there's Labour, you're in trouble. People don't recognize you because of what is. Your own MPs are not, like you say, like I'm not mentioning that.
Let's look at the big. Don't try. What I want you to understand is that let us not say try and find an excuse, okay, for the impending defeat of Labour and pin it on Diane Abbott. That is my.
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
If Labour loses this election. I don't think it's because of Diane's mistake that he did.
It has nothing to do with Diane Abbott. If Labour loses, it has everything to do with the leader. Jeremy, I know he's your friend, but like I told you,
it is not. And I will still also not blame Jeremy as well.
You see, I told you, this election presented something really new, because I told you when Theresa May first came out with a decision to call for the snap election. I said at the time that it's either she's a genius or she's making on the biggest mistake.
Okay.
And then I said at the time that looking at the way things are at the moment, she knows she's in a comfortable lead.
Theresa May?
Yeah. Right. She knows she's in a
comfortable lead. That's right.
In order to change that comfortable lead, come up with something different. Make a promise.
The promises, the policies they are setting out, I think people would like to hear that. The British people would like to hear that. But you see, the personality behind all these policies, that's what I think the problem is.
But you see,
the policies are not too bad. Everything they're saying is not too bad at all.
And that is where I have an issue with the media. Okay? That's why I have an issue with the media. This personality business in politics these days is not helping us. Why do you say, if I come with you with a set of ideas and I put them down, I say, okay, do you think it's good for us to have more money for our schools? You say yes. It's good for us to have more money for the NHS? You say yes. Oh, is it a good idea to have equal opportunities for women and everyone in society? Is it a good idea to have a minimum wage of about £10?
Exactly.
Yes. What do you think if we regulate the rent housing market so that there is a lot of homes?
They are saying,
you say yes.
Right.
What do you think about these wars that we've been getting ourselves involved in? If you think everything, we manage our own business and sort of allow people to develop and solve their problem internally, we say yes. Then we turn around and say that, by the way, if I told you whose policies were these, would that influence your vote? You say no. Then I go ahead and say, these are policies of Mr. Corbyn. They say, oh, by him, then you sort of.
So you see, Mike,
what is the problem?
I understand the point you just made. I do not. I will not entirely put the blame on media. You can't just say, it's like the popular saying in our local parlance. So, no,
you see,
whether or not we like it, Jeremy Corbyn is different in a certain way. He's different. People have a certain perception about him.
So look at the issues and forget about the personality, because he's not coming to.
We can't do that. We cannot.
All right. Let me acknowledge Steve. Good evening, Steve, and welcome to Crossfire on Africanna Radio.
Good evening, Mike. Thank you.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Very well, thank you. We've missed each other. It's almost about.
Last week I heard you were left us somewhere. So
yes.
Took away the program with you.
So sorry. Sorry, yes. But we are back, and we are happy to hear your voice again, anyway.
Good to hear you too.
Yeah, so we haven't gotten back to where we call proper home yet. We are still hanging around the second home. Yeah. So I think, you see, I'm blaming the media, and it started right from when. And also the other blame that I'll give put the blame on the PLP, the Parliamentary Labour Party, the members. Look, there is an existential threat here to most of them, their seats. Here you are going into an election. Immediately you decided to choose a leader, but per your own, what do you call it, constitution, you decided that you will expand the electoral college and allow members to choose. And your members have chosen someone who you describe as being on the far left, okay, of the party. Now, what do? Either you try to get rid of the guy or you don't. You've attempted to do that. Now, if you are not able to get rid of him, then please, for the sake of the country, get behind him and support the ideas that you think are good. But don't just go around and say, oh, he's not a winnable material, he can't win this, that. Who do you think you are hurting? Now, how do you go in an election, prepare a poster, okay, send leaflets out there, and the leader of your party, you are not able to put him on your leaflets. You decide because you don't like him. It doesn't add up. So how do you expect me, the voter, to vote for you? So if you don't like your leader, then automatically you yourself, you are not good. You have to go. Either you resign your seat so that he can have people who like him and they all work together for the sake of the nation, or you try and then work with him.
Oh, Mike,
that is the point.
Ask this question: do they have like party structures like the way we have in Ghana? I'm not.
When you say party structures,
like for example, party hierarchy, who takes certain decisions. Because I mean, what you're saying clearly is like handing the election over to Theresa May on the Silver Plaza. It's just like that.
Oh yes, that is exactly what they are doing.
And before you know,
that's exactly what they are doing.
Them will turn out to be even the biggest position.
I am telling you, look, where I live, as at now, I haven't seen any Labour leaflets.
Yeah.
Okay, the Conservatives have already sent about 2 or 3 leaflets going out, letters and leaflets going out already. The MP, he's a Conservative MP anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying that for the sake, because there's no point having a very strong, overwhelming Conservative victory without a credible opposition. It's not like Labour hasn't got the men and women to do that.
It was neck and neck. I remember.
Oh yes, it was neck and neck. It was 43 to 45%. But the point is that nationally, it's not looking good. And it's even becoming worse because of the behavior of the MPs with their leader. Either you get rid of the man or you support him. You weren't able to get rid of him. So now is the time to shut up and put up and work together, because your life exists on this victory. Okay? Your life exists. Most of the marginal seats that Labour MPs are contesting, they are likely to lose. Because it's the strategy is that UKIP is just going to align with the Conservatives to make sure that all our people will vote for a Conservative leader, MP in that area. So they will knock you Labour out. Simply because you don't like your leader. So why are you sitting there as an MP? Why don't you resign? You have all these fantastic Labour MPs sitting there and they are not helping. Now, if they were all helping and doing their job, all these issues of the NABOT going out and not being able to put her figures right wouldn't have happened.
Oh, another caller.
We have another caller coming through. I'm not too sure whether we can add that. I'll try and see. Hold on. Wonderful. Good evening. And welcome to Crossfire on Africanna Radio. Who do we have on the line, please?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, this is Richard from Swindon.
Hey.
Hi, Richard.
How are you, sir?
I'm very good.
Good. Welcome back from home.
Thank you so much.
By the way, Steve, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, wonderful. So we are back with to our old ways. Thank you, Mr. D. Well done. Yes. So, Steve, before we get Richard on board, we just want to wrap up with our impending election, UK election, and then we can dive straight into Ghana matters. Richard, they just came back from Ghana.
That,
so,
Mike, I think you've done the best you can for Jeremy Corbyn. It's not working. Let's go to Ghana.
Are you sure?
I like that.
Well, I've been listening to the discussions with Ghana about incorrect figures and all those things. And that what I think.
Ooh, a third one coming. Is it you?
Mark, you were saying that you blame the media.
Yeah.
Why would you blame the media? If they ask you a question and you don't have answers, why don't you say, I can't answer this question, give me time, I'll come back to you. So if you are not sure of your figures and you put out the wrong figures, and you know that the game you find yourself in is politics, the least mistake that you make, sometimes it's not even something that if any ordinary person makes that mistake, it will be an issue. But so long as you are a politician and you are an MP and you say something, people capitalize on it and use it against you. And Dynamo knows this very well. So in some of these things, fine, you can blame people, but at the end of the day, you give the figures. And I think the Labour Party needs to do a very need to do homework, proper homework. Fine, the internal wranglings and bickerings within them is part of the political system. Sometimes it happens.
Okay.
If you remember, I think back home, NPP, before they went for 2016 elections, they had a whole host of issues. So the point that their national chairman and the secretary general secretary were suspended. You see, but yes, so there are people who were seriously against another. What happened? Those who are on the side gathered the courage and rally support for the election. So, in as much as Labour is having all these challenges, if they're able to put up a very good campaign message and work hard, no matter the opinion polls that are coming, they can still do something. So they still have a lot of work to do to turn their fortunes around instead of looking at those who are against the leader and all those things.
I like your optimism. I like your optimism. Jeremy will be happy to hear that. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. Do we still have Richard there? Richard?
Hello?
Oh, you're there. Good, because we thought we lost you. Great. You stay there quietly for us. We'll come to you in a moment.
Sure. I'm enjoying the conversation.
Yeah. Steve, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So what I'll say is that if there is anything that the Labour Party needs to do, they need to work on how best to be able to garner support from all parts of the country, and not look at the few people or maybe those who are trying to make the work difficult for them. Because those people, they are inside. They know what they have to do. That they have decided to turn themselves against the leader. What can you do?
I think all is not lost, as you say. All is not lost for the Labour Party. I don't, I mean,
they just have to sit down and strategize their campaign message, whatever they need to do, and just go out there. Because those who are against them are looking for that they will fail. So whether they,
it's sad. I heard one MP just going around knocking doors and telling people that look, we know we are not going to win, but we don't want to give Theresa May a landslide. And
so what does it mean by that?
Why are you contesting in the first place? So they should vote for him, as if he's an independent candidate.
This is crazy.
Right. Those are the people. Because of those people, that's why the Labour should work hard. If you have forgotten Donald Trump, the top hierarchy of Republicans, some of them came out to say that they don't think he's straight in his head.
That's true.
And all those things. But yes, so he didn't give up. And then lo and behold, now he's the president of the United States. So sometimes you have.
But they are still working very hard to try and get rid of this man, you know. I'm pretty sure very soon we'll be having impeachment proceedings against the man.
It's hanging in the air somewhere.
Right.
Yes.
That's another issue when it comes he has lawyers. There are people who will defend him. But the point is, unless he's done something which causes his impeachment, the people can stay in their homes and say whatever they like. He will rule for 4 years. At least he has 4-year mandate.
All right.
These are certain things. And I believe that Jeremy Corbyn stands a greater chance if he works hard, garner the support of the very few who like him, and then move around the country and serve his message. If he's able to do that, he'll be able to pull some surprises on the 8th of June.
All right, let's see whether he can do that. Let me get to my friend Richard. Richard, I don't know if you want to add something to what Steve has said, but being an MPP staunch member, supporter, I mean, I don't know how to describe you, but obviously you're the secretary for MPP Swindon branch. I don't expect you to say anything in favor of Mr. Corbyn. You will be very much you will be very happy with what's happening, but I'm looking at it in terms of in this country's politics. You need a strong opposition, if anything at all. You don't want that kind of one-sided, unfettered, power given to one party, and then. What do you think?
I think that that phrase, we need a strong opposition, is becoming a cliche.
Just as strong and stable leadership too is also becoming a cliche.
I'm building my point to the fact that you have to work to be a recognizable or a potent opposition. You don't assume that you are opposition, therefore the people will rally behind you. People, the world is changing to the fact that information is at the tip of our hands. And people are more educated and discerning. So it's been a long time that politicians have taken the people for a ride. And I think that is what Labour is suffering from at the moment. So you can't say that just because that you need a potent opposition, people should go out there and be voting for Labour. Labour has to work for that. So I see what the Conservatives doing as a master tactical or master plan to impact and annihilate Labour. Because in the warfare, you attack your enemy at their lowest point. And that's exactly what Theresa May has done. But if you read into it, this is the time that they are in severe turmoil. And this is the point, because she could have chosen any time to hold the election, but she chose this time. So it tells you a lot of thinking has gone into it. So it's up to the opposition to always be prepared and be on their guard. But what is happening to Labour, excuse me to say, it is going to be a landslide. Absolutely landslide. And I'm happy because as an MPP member, we are aligned to Conservative. We have our own group, MPP Conservative. So I think we will be going out there. We have people who will be going out there. Even during the council election, people went out there to campaign in North of England and all that. So I mean, it's going to be an outright landslide for Conservative.
Well, and you think that's a good thing for the country?
It's a good thing for the country at the moment when you weigh the two things that you have to consider, options that you have to consider. Option A is Conservative. Everybody has his fault. If Cameron got us into this just to appeal political that we can vote out for Brexit and all that.
Yeah.
Theresa May has come in as a neutral, respecting the power of the people. But Theresa May wants to get the moral conviction to take us out of the EU as the people voted for.
But that is where I'm having an issue. So I thought that has already been given. Okay.
Yes.
Because
I understand you.
Right now, if okay, Richard, like Steve said, if within the next 4 weeks Labour is able to work hard and overturn its fortunes, and then it turns out that the overwhelming majority that Theresa May is expecting, she didn't get that, and we end up in a hung parliament. Okay, now how do you think this is going to work in a hung parliament? Who is going to join who? Are we not going to be in an even bigger, more turmoil?
But this is a minimal, this is very highly unlikely to happen. That there will be a hung parliament for conservative votes. It is likely that there will be a hung parliament for the Labour wing than conservative votes. Because if you take Scotland, for instance, Labour is lost. It's finished in Scotland. SNP has taken over. And now, if you look at the northern part of England, conservatives will fight head to toe with Labour. I'm telling you, it's like, if care is not taken, and it's not, I understand where you are coming from, that it's not good for the political landscape of the country. And there's always the first time where people will learn from it. So I think it's also a learning curve for the Labour for them to go and sit down and restructure, regroup, and come again. Because they've been too, excuse me to say, lackadaisical in their way for a very long time.
Oh well, but so is it the fault of Mr. Corbyn, or is the fault of the whole Labour Party, previous Labour governments?
It would be unfair to blame it on Corbyn, because he exercised his democratic right to stand as the leader of the party.
Yeah.
So I can't blame him for that, but I blame the collectively, the whole structure, how they change things for certain people to vote for certain people. You know, a lot of things have gone in to favor one or the other, and it has backfired big time, from Ed Miliband to how they restructure to get the Miliband out instead of to get Ed Miliband instead of Miliband. That is where their trouble started. And to be honest, as a conservative, I'm highly related for their vote. But they have to learn from that and come back again.
All right. Yes, Labour has to learn from that. Let's end with that point and move back to other matters. My good friend says he wants to be a. What that means, I don't know. But say, Obi Bieja and Richard in the studio wants to Bieja. Listeners, Bieja, you are still.
I'm sure Richard knows what we're talking about.
You are still tuned into Crossfire on Africanna Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from Bedford, United Kingdom. You can call into the program anytime. Our studio line, I think our studio line is 0122 3926 0122 and we have a mobile number which if you're calling from outside the UK, you can do that through WhatsApp, and that's 07473 865 402 07473 865 402. Of course, we are also broadcasting live on Facebook. So I think we have about 3 or 4 platforms that you can get a program and watch live on Facebook and leave your comments or contributions. You can go on to Africanna Radio on Facebook, my own wall, Mike Jones, or Mike Legia Santi. Richard Japon's wall is being broadcasted, and Mr. D's wall, Dom Dumfe, as well. Yes. I guess being the last speaker, we should start with you. at Otiko Jaba and Bugiri Nabu. Bugiri Nabu. What's going on? Richard.
Okay.
So are you starting with me?
Yes, I'm starting. This is. I'm surprised. What is happening?
I thought, Michael, you let us be Jeff first. And then...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let Richard be the Jeff first then. Richard, go ahead in the studio.
Oh my God. You know, everything in normal life, yeah. Sometimes certain things happen in life, and then you just sit down and then you ask yourself, like, seriously, a whole minister and a whole national chairman going after each other like that, saying all sorts of unprintable words on radio, talking of washing your dirty linen in public. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, the sad part of it is they both don't seem to think that they've done anything wrong. I heard some pathetic apology that Otiko made yesterday. In the apology that she was making, she apologized to Ghanaians, she apologized to the president, but failed to. And then in the same vein, she goes on to say that, oh, yeah, I'm a woman, someone is trying to bully me, blah, blah, blah. Come on, if you want to apologize, just apologize wholeheartedly and then let's get on with it.
So it's sort of the apology is a forced one. She's being forced to.
She was made to go to the Flagstaff house, so you can imagine what's going to happen there. You know, it's too early, you know, in the new government for ministers to be letting the president down the way. So I'm going to start to the minister and then obviously going to the first one, because with the minister, the president has the power to fire her.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I'm so surprised. When I first heard the news, I thought, oh, this is some kind of
fake
news. Fake news that, and then until I actually heard the voice of her claiming all sorts of things, because fine, there's a convention there. If you are a minister and you're going to a certain region and you're not going on your official ministerial one, but rather going on a party, you know, meeting party people, because what happened was she met MPP people, so which can be classified as a meeting party folks.
Now, even if it's a ministerial visit, there's nothing wrong with letting your party people know that you are coming there, because
you mean your party chairman, you mean?
Not necessarily the party chairman, but it will be it will be good for the party chairman in the area.
Because the party chairman had a problem. The problem that she came in there and without consulting him before holding a meeting.
Yeah.
So I mean, was it a procedure, or was it like a process?
I would say it will be a good practice.
Yes.
Good practice to do that.
Yes.
Now, if she didn't do that,
why
didn't she do that? That shouldn't result in that. Disagreements do happen, but it shouldn't go.
You guys, let me do that, and then Richard can come in. You see, so to me, I don't get it. No matter what, whether there was a feud, because you see, there's a saying that will be no more kuntoka. I don't think that they are fighting because of what's happened now. They probably have a feud somewhere.
Yes.
And to me, the sad part of it is I listened to her vetting, and then this guy, Okujetwa Blackwell of all people, made a comment. And then with hindsight, listening to what he said then, like, oh, when she gave that foot back and then babies with sharp teeth and all that, and then he said, oh, look at the kind of people that are going to take over from as ministers. You know, he made that very snide comment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was out of order. But then 3 months after or 2 months afterwards, somehow you have, especially with what's happened now, you have no choice but to agree with him. Because a minister, seriously, you cannot do that.
Now the opposition is even capitalizing on that by saying that they are. If Nana Akufo-Addo had listened to them and doing the vetting, this problem wouldn't have happened.
Of course.
I don't think what I do, in my opinion, at this particular moment, something must happen.
Mike, you see, I understand that she has to be a strong woman.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't pay to sit back and see nothing. On her part, for example, even if you went to the region, even though you went officially to do your ministerial duties, and then you decided to meet party people, which technically becomes a party visit.
Yeah.
The best thing that you could do is to try to reach the regional executives, party executives, national chairman, and then the others, and let them know.
Okay. So that is why
your intention was not to come for a party meeting. You came for an official one, but this has come as an afterthought one. But you are still informing them. You didn't do that. And Boogie Abu, this is where I also come in. How can you do that? Did we learn anything from what happened to Adams? It's because of the same issue, like the similar one that led to his death. Because so-called party people went to the Upper East. Was it Upper East, isn't it?
Yeah.
Upper East, and they didn't inform party executives. And then they went to that part, and then it led to the acid attack and all that, And then for you to gather people to go there to attack her, it's also not right.
So now, I haven't followed the whole issue quite closely. I've heard of the radio insults, like interviews where each one is sort of grasping the other one or saying things, unpalatable things about the other person on radio. Who started the radio interview first? Is it the lady?
Yeah, it was Otiko Jaba.
So that is where I think it's very, very unfortunate. Okay, now these issues, they do happen in every party. These quarrels, they do happen all the time. I mean, you don't expect that all the ministers and party members will like each other. People had their own, preferences. Some people were expecting they will be appointed to certain positions. Someone wanted to be DC. They didn't get that position. So whoever got it, whoever is there, they wouldn't like you. So that's normal. It's normal human nature. But what you don't do is to go and sit on radio and then do what? Denigrate either your party member or your chairman or whatever it is. And especially when you are a minister. Well, you're not just a minister for the party, but for the whole nation. So you occupy a position of trust, authority, that comes with responsibility, which others are looking up to. And that is where I think she didn't do well at all. Irrespective of what Bukri Nabu did, she should have just sat quietly. Look, I recall during the campaign, Mr. Kennedy Japon sat on Adum FM and said so many things about, what's his name, the campaign chairman, McMahon. Okay? He said some things about him, very unpalatable things. But McMahon didn't even...
They say silent is good.
He stayed silent. He just said, oh no, he hasn't had any issue with that matter. Okay? And eventually, whatever it is, I believe McMahon wasn't happy with that. He would have probably called Kennedy Japo and told him, hey, what is this you go on radio saying this? Even if I've done that, couldn't you have told me or informed me about this? Why do you have to go and sit on air and then start making this noise? So, and more so now that they are in power, it's not very good. And that's something that I think I expected to resign, to be honest with you. I do expect if she doesn't, then...
She won't resign. I think the president should have sacked her. The president should have sacked her straight away. To me, the president hasn't got the power to sack Bukri Nabu, so that is fine. But Otiko should have gone.
Okay.
She should have been sacked to make an example.
Do you want Richard to react to this, or we should go to Stephen first?
No. Let me finish because I've done Otiko bit. I haven't done Bukri Nabu bit.
Well, we know what
a lot of. I'm sure. Okay, I'll let Richard take. But to me, personally, I believe Otiko needs to go. She must be made an example of, because you see, we have a president that has got a very good heart, I should say, a very, programs that he's doing, and ambitious programs, and then you wonder yourself if the people that he's chosen are actually really going to help him to achieve his program or these ambitions that he's got, or they are actually going to sort of give.
Well, this is a moral test case for the president, and I'm thinking that look,
if it's a moral,
don't allow the president to sack
if it's
you.
A moral one,
step down and then let us know that you admit that what you did was not right.
She's not going to step down, so she needs to be fired.
Why won't she step down? That is what I don't understand. That's idea should be inculcated in our ministers' mind, public officers.
How many officers in governance that you know of that?
My brother, this is a new government. Change. Richard.
People don't just okay.
Richard, please help me out here. We voted for change. I mean, when I say we, I mean Ghanaians, right?
Yeah.
Ghanaians voted for change. Now, the change is not just a change of the way, say, to just for development, but the president himself recently said that change in mindsets, attitudes towards work. So I think it goes hand in hand with this moral behavior and all that. We are all entitled to be upset. We are all entitled to be to stand our rights and to make our points clear. But it doesn't mean that you should go. It comes with responsibilities, and how you go about it is the issue. As a minister, I think Otiko Jaba should just hang up her position, give up, and say, "Look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. For that reason, I have brought the name of the president into disrepute, and for that matter, the high office of Minister for Gender and the Children. So I'm stepping aside." I think it brings some form of sanity into the system, instead of allowing the president to sack her, waiting for the president to sack her. What do you think, Richard?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity once again.
Richard, this is the Bija first one, yes. We go to the second part of the Bija.
We have other matters. You deal with this one. Go ahead.
I'm taking this opportunity to also greet all.
Thank you.
Especially my own chapter, MPP President chapter members who are listening live in London. I'm sorry that I've not been on for all this while. I was in Ghana during one or two steps. And also, I'm sending greetings to Honorable Dandori at Chiana Paga. Unfortunately, today, he's been nominated for the NMDP for Nankana West. Unfortunately, he went twice, but we failed to get the two chairs. So we will go again, and hopefully things will be all right this time. Now, back to your open fire, Richard. See, I have a problem with the media, how you pick and choose stories. But I will come back to that. It's an unfortunate incident. I will never stand anywhere because the president on the first day asked all Ghanaians to be citizens, not spectators. So irrespective of my political alliance, what happened between the minister and the regional chairman is wrong. But I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty to put blame on here and there, because at the end of the day, if I put blame on the people, I'm putting blame on NPP. If I put blame on Chairman Bobinabu, I'm still putting blame on NPP. Which in either way, it is wrong. It shouldn't have happened. It is unfortunate incident, and it shouldn't have happened. That is the bad news. But I think the good news overrides the bad news. What is the good news? The good news is that we have a citizen president.
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
outcry of the public outcry, got to a level that these two have to be called to order. And that is exactly what happened. Now, apologies have been issued, and counter-apologies have been issued. So I think that was the time that the media focused on it. And I'm saying this with all humility, on more important things that is happening. You see, in the course of history, the president has visited Ivory Coast, Togo, and Cameroon.
Yeah.
The business is one of the most important things that our nation or atrocities that our nation is facing. President Nana visited Togo and all the West African member states because of the pollution of our water bodies due to the illegal mining. If you are aware, we've been petitioned by these sister counties because of the direct effect of these pollution of the water bodies. You know, when all these illegal mining and all the chemicals that is happening, it goes straight into one water body, which is a big sea. And we are neighbors. It is affecting them at their end. And that is why they petition Nana, the president of the Republic of Ghana. So, and it is becoming so bad that the the World Bank, with its engineers, have projected that it is likely if this sort of illegal mining continues, there will be a point where Ghana, and this is shameful, and touch wood, it will never happen, that there will be a time where Ghana will be importing water for our people. That is how bad the Galamsey illegal mining is getting into. And the president of the Republic, you see, as a president, you have to prioritize.
Okay, Richard.
Yeah, Richard. You see, we get your point. Yeah, there's.
You see, when I'm here, I'm talking to the people that is also listening. Let me explain.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's been to Ivory Coast to discuss how best we can solve this illegal mining issue. Some of the adverse reactions that we have at the moment, we have some water plants that have been shut down.
Oh, Richard, hold on.
Serious issue that we should tackle. Because for the first, for the Otiko Jaba and Movina Bush, apologies have been said. They come out to apologize to each other. So I think we should move on.
Okay, that is where, all right, so,
any different action is going to come.
Did you say if there are? Wait, if there are?
Yes.
And what if they are? They aren't?
I think if there are, I mean, we don't have that power. That's our the power.
And that is exactly where I have a problem. You see, now you are putting the blame on the media for highlighting this.
Putting the blame on the media to the fact that you have allowed this situation, which is minor when it comes to the development.
But Richard,
it's not every day that you see a party chairman, a chairman of a region, and then a party, minister, spat on radio like the way they did, and you expect the media to just sit down and not.
Telling me the rift between the minister of gender and the party chairman, regional chairman, is more important than stopping these Galamsey. That is, in fact.
Oh, Richard, the Galamsey that you're talking about is a random story. We'll still talk about it.
But also, let me add that, Richard, let me add that. You see, I get your point to some extent, but do not blame the media for that. Now, remember this Galamsey issue, it is the media who actually brought it up again, because the previous government didn't take any serious action about the matter. They all came, the media houses came together and they said, look, we need to bring this to the forefront again. And so they started broadcasting these issues. Peace FM was at the forefront. Kwaku Baku and his team, Tiger Eye, they've done some investigations, and I mean, all of them sort of made sure that, look, this time we're going to sustain this. We have to talk about it. Some of them are being threatened. So if you say the media is not talking about Galamsey, I don't think that's fair. Now, if you also want to blame the media for highlighting issues between Bugri Nabu and Otiko, I also don't think that is fair. They should, as a minister, you have a responsibility to know when to put out certain things, certain information, and what to say and what not to say. Now, if you err in doing that, and the media picks that up and it goes viral, do not blame the media and say it is the media's fault. However, having said that, you see,
maybe I'm not coming across.
You see,
I understand that the media, why you highlighted that situation.
The reason is this. You see, this is at the background. We have a president, a new leader. So it's like, I don't see the change that Ghanaians voted for to be just a one-sided change of just, oh, we just want development. But I think a change in all aspects of Ghanaian life, a change in the way we do politics, a change in the fact that if we realize that we've made errors, mistakes that are, derailing, actually casting shadow, because at the end of the day, believe you me, if Otiko comes out tomorrow and say, look, because of what I've done, it has become an unnecessary distraction on the good works that the government is doing. So I'm stepping aside so that this matter is over. I've apologized to Bugri Nabu, but I don't think what I did was right. So let someone else take over. Hey, the matter is dead. She set up a good example. Her reputation could be built. And then we move on. Now, if that doesn't happen, wait, let me finish here. If that doesn't happen, then it's like we have a situation where a minister or anyone can go on radio and say things and fight, and then they can turn around and apologize. That system continues. It's been going on in the past, and Richard in the studio said that, oh, have I ever seen any minister resigning? I want to see that now, or the president sacking people for this uncultured behavior. It is not just about stealing money or being incompetent, but this is something that boils down on morality and the signals you are sending out there, wasting the president's time when he's in Cote d'Ivoire and other places trying to get a rail from where is it, Accra to Paga.
Yeah.
Okay, this is big news for me. Jobs all the way, rail line. If imagine we have a rail line all the way to Paga, I can know that people in my village will get some job to do.
In an ideal situation.
Okay, but here we are. Richard, this is distracting from that.
That's what we should be talking about.
So I want something to happen. But we shouldn't just say that it is just they've apologized to each other, it should go. Otherwise, we will keep hearing these things and they become distractions in the government's effort to do what they're supposed to do for the nation. Steve,
yes, I understand your
can I get Steve on board, please, Richard? Then you come back again.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. There is nothing that anybody should try to blame India for somebody's wrong. I don't think any media house in Ghana went to Otiko and Bugri Nabu to go and talk and just be on the loose and say whatever they said. And we should also be mindful that the media people, they depend on information, whether good or bad. And that is what makes people listen to them. You and I, we always want to listen to radio because of something which is peculiar. If somebody wakes, we all slept and woke up and the media is reporting it, that will not be news to us. So everybody woke up. So what? Every day wake up. But if we say that somebody woke up the next morning and the person's head has turned into 3, that will be news to us. We want to hear that. So as far as the media goes, I wouldn't want to side with my brother Richard and this. The media hasn't done anything. What they have done is what they are reporting. If they know Otiko, I'm coming to the Otiko's issue, Otiko and Bugri Nabu. We have to, not too long ago, about 4 or 5 months ago, we were talking about babies with sharp to babies. Now we have adults with, I don't know whether it's sharp teeth or Cadillac teeth or what. For God's sake, these are adults who know their whereabouts. A minister, a regional chairman of a ruling party, just go and
they issue apology. They issue
Richard, The fact that they issued apology doesn't mean that whatever we are talking about didn't happen. They are not cooking stories here. We just want to highlight that issue so that at least, it will not happen again. You see, Otiko as a person, if you look at even her vetting, the issues surrounding her vetting, fine, nobody cares at all. At that time, we were dealing with an opposition and the government in power. So whatever you do, they will always say something against it. Fine. So we didn't bother about it. Now, it's internal issue. What at all does Otiko want? You were a minister, fine. Nobody challenges you on your ministerial appointment, no problem. What would have been a problem for Otiko to just say that, oh, Mr. Nabu, I'm in your region, I want to hold a meeting? What could Buki Nabu have stopped that meeting if he had just mentioned it to him? There are certain things, it just takes just a minute, being patient, just recognizing the person will not take a ministerial position off air. And then I come to Buki Nabu too. You see, that's why we say two wrongs don't make a right. Let's accept that Otiko erred for not informing him. Does that also give Buki Nabu the chance to go and disrupt the meeting? It's just a matter of having just a minute to ponder over something. We would have saved ourselves all these unnecessary loose stuff. Look at what Buki Nabu said about Otiko, and look at what
you said about
Buki Nabu. Do we want that?
What do you expect to happen, Steve? What do you expect now?
No, for me, as far as I'm concerned, Buki Nabu should be called by the party hierarchy and then discipline him. That's one, because he holds a post by vote, so he has to be called by the party. Otiko, he has a dual position now. The party can call her because she's still the national women's organizer, so the party will deal with her on that level. And then the president should exercise his prerogative by either sacking her or advising her to sack her to resign.
Yeah.
It's one of two things.
So, that is not the only option that I disagree with. That's not the only option that is there.
Yeah, Richard, I'm not expecting you to agree with me on this. Because you want to defend Richard. You see, Richard.
You are not being fair to your listeners. So,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Richard.
There are only two options for the president.
To me, that's Richard. This is my opinion. This is my opinion, not what you want. For me, I think.
Your opinion, say that the president has the choice, but you
Richard, for me,
if you
Richard
has only two choices.
To me, it's not about the pardon, because after the pardon, then everybody will be doing all those things and be asking for pardon and pardon.
Do you agree?
We keep going.
The president has that prerogative of pardon after.
That is in your context. As far as I'm concerned, I expect the president to sack her. If I wanted the president to pardon, I would have said so. Because Otiko.
But you agree that the president can choose to pardon Otiko?
That's you in your context. I'm not looking at president pardoning her, so I wouldn't even bring it into my discussion. Yeah, if the president decides to pardon her, that's not with me. That's up to him. But as far as I'm concerned, if the president.
I understand where you are coming from, but the point
yeah.
The president has so many options available to him, which includes the two that you are pathetic for.
Yeah, Richard, I'm aware. I'm aware that the president has the power.
You said
yes.
But when we are online, we are also educating as well. So I'm just telling you that is what you said. I'm just drawing your attention.
But Richard, let me add here that I think you see when Steve is saying that the president has only two options, to either the woman will resign or sack her, I tend to side with that.
I really think that is not
Richard, listen, the point is, I'm not trying to say that I'm tying the president's hand to get two options. The fact is, I'm talking of what, if I'm to prescribe the action for the president to take.
Okay.
That's my prescription. Yes, that's my prescription. So I know the vast options available to the president. But for me, I'm limiting myself to these two. Because Otiko knows too well of the actions that she was taking. Because if for nothing at all, you come on air as well, say all manner of things, at least, let's be fair to ourselves. I know that you're a politician, so all the time you would rather want to defend issues, even the indefensible. But the fact is this, what is not right is not right. This time it's not just about they denigrating themselves. If you look at it, they have denigrated the president. One, because Otiko was appointed by the president. The president trusted and believed that Otiko is a responsible person, that she can represent him wherever in this country. That is one. Two, Otiko has also disgraced the party. Three, Otiko has disgraced her ministry. And she has disgraced womanhood as a mother. And then even if you go to their culture up north there, they give very much respect to their men. Let alone Mr. Buki is older than her in so many ways. So these are things that we have to look at. I'm not just saying it in the line of Otiko alone. I'm also looking at Mr. Nabu as well. He's also a father, so he should also exercise restraint. So I'm not just saying that just because Otiko is a woman. No, I'm not looking at that at all. Aside that, it's also about Ghana. We as citizens, because when this issue comes up, nobody will talk about MPP and NDC there. They are saying, Ghana minister, it's a trade insulting like party members and all those. It's about that. So there are certain things sometimes when we are defending our party position, we should be very careful so that we do it in such a way that next time if somebody else is doing it, we'll be able to, I said it. Just about 5 months ago, we were talking about babies with sharp teeth. Now, what are we saying about Tigo and Bugena?
Yeah, and also, Steve, to help you out here, also, we all remember in the old administration, they just ended one, when ministers did, in quotes, something wrong, they were seen to be moved from one ministry to the Flagstaff House. And people talked a lot about it.
Yeah.
So we have a new precedent in where we think that, oh, you cross the line, you are taken out. What would have happened if the president sacked her? Nobody would have blamed the president for sacking her.
Well, it's not too late. I don't think it's too late. So I am still hoping that will happen.
Yeah. I don't think Otiko is the only woman in NPP who qualifies to serve as the Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs. She's not. For me, personally, I believe that Otiko was given that post because of her hard work as a national women's organizer. There are other qualified women in NPP who can serve that same position. The fact that Otiko should be hard and be able to do the work doesn't mean that she should just go about insulting everybody. What does she think to achieve? What does Otiko really seem to achieve by holding a meeting? It's just fair. You are in the same party. It's not about NDP that you are saying you won't report to them.
Let's move on. I think we know our positions here, and let's hope that there will be some sanctions. For me, I think the message out there is something must be done so that these things do not happen again. Richard went on the fight against Galamsey. It's part of issues that we want to talk about, and then we'll move on to other matters. Galamsey fight, are we winning?
Yeah, we are. I think that one is an ongoing one, but I think
it's ongoing. But I mean,
it's almost 11.
Yeah. You want to jump Galamsey, eh?
Yeah.
Because the Galamsey came.
Well, to me,
Aisha has been arrested.
We can have a quick, comment on that. To me, I must commend this government for the work that they are doing, especially the minister for that sector, Peter Amewu, has done a great job. It seems that, you see, this is what we want to hear. This Kim King that you're talking about, Aisha, she has been arrested.
Yeah.
You understand? This is what we want to see. Like a new government that comes in who will do things different from what the previous administration did.
Yeah.
You see, there was even a memo that I saw today about her, equipments, and then what she was using, excavators and all that were seized, and then a note like a message from above says release it to her and all that. We are moving away from all those. And I also like the statement that Minister of Information
Mustafa Hamid
said to the ambassador, Chinese ambassador, we respect our laws. These are our laws. Our lands are being, abused by these Galamsey people. The media have taken our role. We're helping out. The government is cooperating. And, we need to eradicate it once and for all. And I believe if we continue the way we are, the new government continue the way they are doing now, Galamsey menace will be sorted out once and for all. And I know there are big men involved that wouldn't want us to.
Yes, while we are there, I think last 2 weeks we brought up this idea of voting the minister of the week. Who is doing well? I gave it to Peter Mewu. Yeah. Is he still the sole contender? Is he still the one in the front runner?
Yeah. Well, the one at the bottom is obvious. So take Java.
So yes, today we are going to do the name.
The minister of the week, not the one at the bottom.
Oh, come on, Richie.
What? Otiko could be the minister of the week, but on a different level, is it?
We are talking about issues that affect all of us. You are not interested in that. You try to find a leeway to bring people back to the
You see, Richard, you see, I did say that, your government has done a great job the way you started fighting the Galamsey menace and all that. But this is the reason why these are the things that we want to hear on radio. These are the things that a lot of people want to hear.
Yeah, because we tell me, Richard, whilst you are there, tell me, apart from Peter Mewu so far with the ministerial performance, who do you think is also doing? I know, I don't say you have your favorite or in terms of what you've seen so far, because you are on the ground. You are.
Based on what you just said, say weekly. I want to commend the Minister of Education. This week,
Napo,
the brouhaha that was doing across the northern region where all the arrests have been paid and students were not being able to, the schools were not having the funds available to feed students, and they got to a point where they have to send some of the students home. It was ordering a calamity, like students have to go home because they can't afford to eat. The school can't provide food for them because there are no funds. Whereas in the southern part and the western part, the privileged people, they will be in school. At the end of the academic year, all the students are expected to write the same exam. So there will be an imbalance there.
Was this an issue that existed prior to the minister assuming office, or?
Yes, it's been like a two terms of arrears.
Okay.
So it goes way back. But that's not even the case. I don't want to score a political point against mine. But I think it's common sense that we have to treat each other fair, irrespective, because there are constitution binds that we are all equal, irrespective of where you are. Obviously, it is not going to be ideal based on your family circumstances, your financial circumstances. But when it's coming from the government, at least we expect there should be some fairness or inequity. So, I would not say just the Minister of Education, but also because it has to come from the Minister of Finance and all that. So I think this week, Amewu is the top star. He's been a top star from day one.
Yeah.
Obviously, all the ministers are also working, but some of them are working behind the scenes. Because the Zongo development, when I went to visit him, he's working very, very hard. All the other guys, they are working very, very hard. And the experience that I had also in Ghana, that when you go to the ministry, you will say that maybe I'm MPP member, but when I'm going there, I'm not wearing MPP colors. I'm going there as a Ghanaian. But the way they receive you, I mean, I think the change that Richard, you are preaching about, I'm challenging you that go to Ghana, then you come back smiling. How they receive you at the ministry is 5 stars. It's 5 stars.
Is it so? who does this reception then? Is it the civil servants or new sort of? There is a special group of.
There's a civil servant position where you can't necessarily change, but there are also some positions that are political positions. But the reception that I think I even went to the national service. These were national service guests, and I remember when I was doing my national service at Coca-Cola, and I wanted an introduction letter. Oh my God! When I went to, I stood there for like 30 minutes because the girl was chatting on the phone. Before the girl was talking, at that time it was just absolutely fantastic. So I thought these are the little differences that Ghana we are picking up, because if a businessman walks into the High Commission that the MPU guys have been already complaining about for a very long time, the first impression that comes. So our receptions are the first contact between us and the ministry. So what they do to you, or how they approach you or accept you, will go far in whatever you are going to do.
Well, I hope that is also changing in the various diplomatic missions abroad.
Not even in Ghana, passport office.
It was fine. So back to the Minister of the Week, I think it will be a very close call between Ken Oforiatta and Dr. Napo.
Matthew Opoku Prempeh. All right, Napo, yeah.
Ken Oforiatta.
Well, he's the finance minister, I guess, because
he released the money.
You see, as for that, okay. Let's leave him. I think he had his turn will come because anyway, when he presented his budget,
I know we've moved on, but let me just make this small point about ministers. Because we are talking about ministers. You see, there's one minister that I've been so impressed about. From vetting, I saw a different part of her. From vetting all the way up to now. The way she's conducted herself, you hardly hear anything about her. Oslo, I'm talking about Oslo. She's like a completely changed person. No, it's got nothing to do,
But it wasn't a fair point.
You see,
what
she look at all those women ministers that we have so far. Those top ministers, women, female ones. You hardly hear of anyone apart from Mutiko Jaba. She's the only one that's in the news. And Richard, we are saying all of these not because of we are trying to emphasize it, because something is really going on about that. She needs to be spoken to. If the president is not going to sack her, she must be on the last warning. Because you want to start a new government, you don't want to start with a lot of controversies in the media. All of these are not needed. So it's about time somebody
the only crime the only crime this woman has committed is the confrontation that she had with
That's not the only one. That's not the only one. Her, I don't know. It's just her demeanor. I know people say she's a feisty character. Fine, But then sometimes you need to, when you get to a certain position, ministry, you need to tone down a bit. It doesn't kill, Hardly do you hear about.
That is how she is. That is how she is. I mean, why?
I don't want us to go there again. But, I've just been, because one of our leaders listening, I've just been sent the message that at the moment it's in the party's hands.
Yeah.
The situation is in the party's hands to communicate, and we are not supposed to talk about it. Okay. So it is in the party's hands at the moment. Anything, so we will hear more of that.
All right, that is good. That is good. That's what we want to hear. All right.
Yes. Okay. I think we can move on from Minister of the Week. Congratulations to Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. I think we'll settle on him. He's been doing some fantastic work since he took over, and he's doing well. He's he's a listening person. That I can testify to that. Because I happen to crisscross lines with him on a different platform somewhere, and he listens, and so I'm happy that you have noticed that, and you brought that to our attention, that he should be nominated for the position of the Minister of the Week. So congrats, Napo, Dr. Napo. Anyway, Steve, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Great. Galamsey fight, I think, is going on so far so good. The signs are good, and the action is being taken.
Yeah.
Now, because of time, I want us to move on to the Chief Justice. The position of the Chief Justice. Some names have come up. We know our current Chief Justice is retiring in 4 weeks' time. She said it herself. And so the President has a duty to appoint or nominate a new Chief Justice to the Council of State, and then obviously the process will start for her installation. The Chief Justice will be the fourth most powerful person of the land. So, what's your view on that? Who do you want the President to appoint? Achukuba? He's the senior.
But he's a senior, but his name hasn't come up, has it?
It's not about his name hasn't come up. I don't know. What's the is it by seniority?
Mike. In the choosing of a Chief Justice, you know the President has the prerogative. You can even choose someone from the bar. I mean, outside. Because at the moment, you know, we've got 12
outside the Supreme Court
justices and then one Chief Justice.
Okay.
You can choose from outside those people, even if you want to. Yeah.
No, so are they 13 in total or they 12?
No, they are 13, including the Chief Justice.
13. Okay.
Mike.
Yes.
What I think is, Akufo-Addo is a lawyer. He's a very reputable lawyer. He knows all the judges out there.
Yeah.
And then any other person, he may settle on, even if the person is on the Supreme Court. He knows at least their predispositions as well. You mentioned somebody in Matukuba.
Yeah.
It's off. He's not irrespective of whatever. Matukuba is purely empty.
Is this payback time?
It's not payback time, right? This is not about payback. There are certain things like when you create now when you
oh yes, I agree with you. I asked that rhetorically, honestly, because so you are ruling Atuguba out. But what if the President decides to appoint Atuguba?
Even the NDC people themselves, they know that it's out.
No, but what if that President surprises and appoints Atuguba?
One of the reasons why Atuguba will be chosen, apart from what Steve said, is he's due to retire soon anyway.
Atuguba, you mean?
So there's no reason for.
He's due to retire next year or 2018 or 2019. He can still be put on and then he will go back. If he was somebody who has a predisposition with MPC, they wouldn't mind putting him there for 1 year and then he will go. They will still be in power, and then somebody else will come.
Yeah. But so, why do you think that? Why do you think that Akufo-Addo can make? I mean, wouldn't do that because knowing that he's going to stay there for just one year and wouldn't be there till the election time. So, why do you think Akufo-Addo will say, for the sake of sanity, I would choose Atuguba?
Why he wouldn't do that?
Well, if Atuguba is chosen, he's actually going to descend, so there's no point.
Let me answer that question.
Yeah.
The reason why he won't do that is one. Atuguba, the decision. Although there's the president who is going to finally mention the name, that decision will be, he will do that even with the council of elders with the NPP. There's some of these things, they don't mention their names there. Like in the confusion that we have to do. But they will think about it as a party. They have a hand in it to settle on somebody who they want him to be. And Atuguba is the last, he himself knows that he will not be considered. It's like it's the first time. And then what gave it to this woman?
Okay.
So some of the things, you can sit down and just fantasize it in any way. But it won't happen.
Are we likely to get another woman?
It's possible.
I understand. Addo is also has one more year to go. So Gloria.
No, she doesn't. She has.
It's possible that we can get another woman. Even if not, we will look at somebody who is a level headed, who is not too biased. Because I know that all of them they all vote. So at least they have party.
You see,
when you are at that level, you should try as much as possible to be fair. And Atuguba didn't distinguish himself as that. So he lose it. Something like that. How about that one? I'll say.
You see,
other person who comes
you see. Truth be told, all the 12 justices of the Supreme Court that we have, to me, and it's every single one of them qualifies if the president so want to choose from any of them. And I bet you that most of the NPP people, they wouldn't say it, but when they won the election, one of the things that was a huge relief for them was the fact that they get to choose the Chief Justice, and the fact that the current Chief Justice was actually retiring after the election, not before. Because if it had been before, that would have been another, selection. By. And I know we've got 3 people at the front, then Rana, that, Animi Yabua, mention of the Che, and then mention of Gloria Kufu. Sorry, not Gloria, Sophia Kufu. To me, you see, in choosing all 3, to me, these 3 are the top ones for me. Any one of them that's chosen, I'll be very happy. I wouldn't.
Well, I read somewhere that if Doche is chosen, then it will be
that's what,
there's going to be a regional balance.
That's what I was coming to.
Yeah.
In terms of a regional balance, Doche will be the favorite in terms of regional. If the president's decision to choose what actually defined or what made his decision, it was based on regional balance, then Doche will be the Chief Justice. But then if he wants continuity with like seniority, for instance, the most senior one is Tukuba, followed by Sophia Akufu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then she also qualifies if the president wants to go with females, or
But I also read somewhere that she was trained under the president.
Oh yeah, that's also true. And then even in the Herald newspaper today, they were talking also about the president being related. Anyway, I don't want to
being related to
Gloria Kufu. But then, even if they are related or whatever, I still.
Oh, I mean the Attorney General.
No, why do I always get confused? I'm talking about Sophia.
Yeah, there are too many Akufus, aren't there? Yeah. We have Gloria Akufu, Akufu-Addo, and Sophia Akufu.
But you see, these three are, to me, they are the most. Even though all the other 12 qualify, but they have taken the front.
How did they vote during the petition? Out of interest.
Okay. Now
I'll
go. Sophia Akufu was not part of the.
She was not part of it.
No, she wasn't.
Okay, but
all right. Overvoting, dismissed by 5-4. Doche answer. Owusu. I give you my judge descended. Oh, voting with that, baby.
One or two before I leave.
Yeah. Okay. Richard, you have the floor.
Thank you. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm loving the comments from. You see, I think many people, and I don't want to take offense because I don't know what the president is thinking, but to be honest, the Constitution, it says the Chief Justice shall be appointed by the President, acting in consultation with the Council of State and with the approval of Parliament. So the President, although he has that power, he also has to satisfy the Council of State and the approval of the Parliament. And this time I'm speaking based on my own opinion, judging the names that I have put down here, Abdullah, Justice Doche, Justice Animiyaboa, Justice Sophia Kufu, I think Justice Abdullah has a really great chance of being nominated. We know what happened. But then again, there is no seniority when it comes to the president appointing who's supposed to be the Chief Justice.
They do not.
You could have been Abdullah, could have been the senior most judge or Chief Justice, or the senior most justice among his peers. But we shouldn't be surprised that if president, come out and he does not choose Abdullah. We shouldn't.
No, but you see, the choice is not done based on. It's like Richard. It's like you said. It's not done based on seniority. The only way that happens is if there is a vacant. If the president has not chosen, and then there is the vacant, then that's when he falls in automatically. But other than that,
yes. So this is 80% the president's choice, and the president has been, in fact, he's the law. He knows the ins and outs, as he rightly said. So we are hoping that I have a gut feeling that it is likely going to be Justice Doche. That is what I am, because I've read a lot about him, and I think he has a chance. That is my opinion.
He's a fair man.
he is a very fair man.
That's how I feel it.
Because
He dismissed overvoting, you see.
yes. So you need such a man.
He understands overvoting.
He dismissed it.
People say that overvoting is ballot tapping. He himself.
The way Africanna handled himself in that court case, in fact, it's such a magnificent that we spent months. People were even taking jobs and listening to it because the dear lives of our people were dependent on that decision. But this man took 5 minutes to read and just rubbish all the cases. So, I mean,
Oh no, Richard, when you say it took 5 minutes, this was something, he was just the one reading it. Doesn't mean he was the one that made the decision. I agree with you though, because I remember during the election petition, there was a pattern. When the MPP sort of wanted him to recluse himself because of his relation with the then
Executive Secretary to the President.
And he refused to do that. A lot of people were thinking that okay, he's going to be fair, like the others, and then and not follow a certain pattern.
Yeah.
But then you always know whenever there's a dissenting and you hear Atukuba, then it's going to the NDC side. Truth be told, there were a lot of things that he dissented, and then straight away, and it made him very.
People couldn't defend overvoting. He said that
Yeah.
is ballot tapping.
Our people, like the president, the vice president, and our law.
Yeah.
It came across as purely
Yeah.
biased. And
Yeah.
you don't need such a person who is, although I can't say he is biased, but he's got that aura around him that people think majority of Ghanaians, I can say majority of Ghanaians, because like 54%. So majority of MPP or Ghanaians don't really trust faith fairness. I think the pendulum is swinging towards Ben Doche and the other people. But for my opinion, I would be very glad if the president is Doche. But then again, it's in the president's hands and not that of me. So I'm just hoping that the right person and we move forward as a country.
Great.
Right.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's 20 past 11.
Personally,
Yeah,
to me, I also like Doche, but then I also think Animi Yeboah is a very fine judge. But then it will not I don't think it's gonna favor him, in the sense that you see, I talked about what would inform the president's decision. If he wants to choose the next one based on gender or based on the continuity of the gender. Let me put it that way, because we had the longest serving CJ or Supreme Court CJ being a female.
Sorry, Richard.
I think Steve.
Or is it Steve? I think there's some feedback coming back. We're getting some feedback through from one of
The radio.
I think they have to stop it, right?
She's talking now. Great. Thank you.
You see, what would inform the president's choice? To me, there are two things. Whether he wants to, these three.
Okay.
To me, is going to be between these three. But then, whether it's going to be informed by regional balance, and if it's a regional balance, Doche is the one. All three are terrific.
Yeah, let's explain this regional balance here for our listeners and viewers to understand. So when we are saying regional balance, what we are meaning here is that the president is from Anakan.
Yeah. The vice
region.
is from the northern.
The vice is from the northern part of Ghana. The third in line, who the Speaker of Parliament is from Greater Accra. That's Professor Michael Quay. And so if Justice Doche is appointed, he's from the Volta region. His name, though.
But it's also important to put it out there that all three are very competent judges. So it's not just, I don't want people to think that, because of regional balance, so we have to choose someone who is not competent or really qualified to do it. All three are very, very qualified. To me, all three are qualified and are very fair. You remember the create, loot and share?
Yeah, it's the
creation of Doche. He's a very fair judge, trust me, and he's very bold and not scared to make certain decisions. And then
nothing will happen to me.
Yeah, well, and then the second one, to me, this is where Sophia has two advantages, two different advantages. First, she is the second most senior one. So if the criteria for choosing, as far as the president is concerned, is going for the senior most one, she will be the ideal choice. And then if the president wants to continue with
the gender balance, which I think I'm inclined to fall on that because
exactly. Don't forget, this one has done 10 years, and trust me, she's done a great job. They are going one now, terrific job for 10 years. And the longest serving.
The ladies are good. You see, they do a good job. Look at what this woman did for us. What's her name? Charlotte Osei. Look at Charlotte Osei. Charlotte Osei did a fantastic job. So I think we should allow a lady to continue. Mr. President, we shall end there. But
and then
let me quickly make this announcement.
Let me just finish this. I'm just wrapping up. So you see that also favors Sophia Akufu, but then Anim Yebua is also a terrific judge. I wish, but then his criteria, I don't know. It's up to the president.
Look, listeners, I've just been notified that I made a grave error from the beginning. I understand our sister radio in Ghana, Africanna Radio Ghana, is broadcasting our show live. So if you are in Ghana and you are tuning to Africanna Radio, now you don't have to worry. You go to Ghana, if you want to listen to Africanna Radio, just tune into Africanna Radio Ghana. It's also an online radio station in Ghana, and you will get all your favorite programs live, including Crossfire. So Crossfire is on Africanna Radio Ghana, and that will be between the hours of 8 and 10. Yes, because we are leading Ghana by an hour. Anyway, we're getting to the end of the program, and Steve.
Yeah.
Just a quick one. I'll steal some 5 minutes here so that we can finish with the issues that we wanted to talk about. The public accounts sitting. They sit, this public account committee, they will sit. Last time we talked about it, someone went there, was, pleading, one of these, what was it? He's an agent, an auctioneer.
The auctioneer.
What has happened to him?
Nothing. Yeah. You see, this is the frustration I always get. We talk about all of these, the corruption, we bring all of these up, nothing happened. What's the whole point in them coming, the sitting, being paid a lot? If
so is there an exercise in futility or something?
Is it, the funny part of it is when they have their sitting, they have the powers of High Court judge.
No, but that powers is only to summon people to appear before them. They don't have the what we call punishing powers. There is a term for it. They can't punish. They can only recommend.
What we can do is we need to, if we have to amend the laws, then we need to make provision for some of these people to be punished, because you can't just talk about the same issue. People do it year in,
and then they will come and sit there and smile at you and apologize and say, "Oh, I'm sorry."
If people are actually being punished, then we need to see them being punished. You understand? Because
you see, the law, there is a law there that empowers the current the Auditor General to surcharge anyone found to have misappropriated monies. And if you disagree, that person has to take the matter to the High Court to challenge it.
Yeah.
Okay? If you disagree with the position of the the Auditor General, you go to the High Court to challenge that matter. Why they don't do that, I don't know. Now, this current Auditor General was appointed recently, so let's hope that he will start putting these charges. And I think the media in Ghana should be bringing these matters up, because the more we hear of things like this, the more we know that the fight is, on. People are at ease. When something is being done and you don't hear about it, if you're doing good and you don't let people know that you're doing good, my brother, no one knows that you're doing good. That's the point. So if we only hear the bad things, but it's up to the government, the communicators, the ministers, the Minister of Food to come out and say that, hey, Public Accounts Committee is sitting, this is what we are doing, it is under our watch, it is under our government, and this is what we've done so far. Because if they don't do that, then it will still be under MPP government that Public Accounts Committee sat and an auctioneer sold a car for cheap, kept the money for 1 year. The matter was brought to their attention, and he smiled at them and apologized, and nothing happened. It goes scot-free. The cycle will continue. So something must be done, and whatever is being done, they must let us know it. They must publish it. Put it out there and let people know that it's not acceptable. So if you do that, this is what is going to happen to you. Anyway, I think we have to draw the curtains down here now.
Oh, Steven.
Yes, Steve.
Yeah.
Richard, are you gone or you are there? I think Richard is falling out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll give you the last word, Steve, and then we'll bring our show to an end tonight.
Yeah, what I would want to say is regarding the Public Accounts Committee, the how things are going on now, or currently, is not different from the past. Right from 1992 that we returned to democratic system, and this Public Account Committee has been working since 93, all through to this time. It has been the same pattern. People will come and talk rubbish, come and give us silly accounts. Money has gone there, money has been used for this. They can't just even explain themselves better. And then all that they tell them is that go and make sure you don't do it again and all this. And then that money is gone, and it's gone for good.
Yeah.
Nobody has been charged, nobody has been punished for the mistakes or even the intentional misappropriation of public funds. And that is what is emboldening people. Because if you might did it last year, nobody said anything. What stops you from also doing it this year? So I think it's high time. That's why it's going to be very, very important. And it's very, very crucial that the president brings up this special prosecutor. That if your public accounts...
It's long overdue, my brother. Every day I'm still counting, still waiting for this special prosecutor.
The Accounts Committee will leave them. The special prosecutor will just be sitting on the side. When you are left at the public account,
yeah, he will just invite you, come here.
Yeah, you can go through that big door in the Public Accounts Committee, but in the special procedures door, you can't go scot-free. They pick you up and then take you to court. But the kind of things happening in Ghana, if we are able to tighten the law a bit, you will see how the country will move in a proper way. People are just fooling around, using, misappropriating funds, and nobody says anything to them. And that is what is bringing the nation to his knees almost every year and all the time.
All right.
How can somebody being an auctioneer sell car for the nation and keep the money in his pocket for a year? When will come and say that they say, I'm sorry. What is being sorry for this for? So I think we need to be up and be doing as a nation and change the way we do things. If we do that, it will help us in a better way than what we are doing now.
Great. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you, Richard. I think we've made justice to the topics tonight, and we started very late. We do apologize again to our viewers and listeners. This has been Crossfire, and we come your way every Wednesday from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time. Today We were late. All my faults. I hold my hands up and apologize. So next week you will be here again with another edition of Crossfire. We thank you very much. And for our listeners in Ghana, we also thank you. Tune in next week, same time, from 8 o'clock Ghana time, I believe, to Crossfire. Good night, gentlemen, and good night,
Good
everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.